Today's knife is a newer release that I truly believe is just about the perfect EDC size, and I'm going to show you right now. Hey, I'm Jay, and if you're looking to buy a knife and you need to see what it's like first before you drop your hard-earned money on it, here's what you got to do. Click on subscribe so I can help you, and remember to click that bell notification so you don't miss a thing. So you should be looking at the specs right now, so those of you interested, go ahead and pause here to read. And of course, we'll get into what I like about this and some of the potential deal breakers that I see for this brand new from WE Knives, the Practic, however you want to say it. I'm not going to judge. But first, why don't we go ahead and do the size comparisons rather quickly. We'll start out with the Kaiser Vanguard Dukes. And how about, I haven't pulled this one out in a while, Spyderco Paramilitary 2, of course, and the Benchmade Bug Out. Let's do one more, should do it. And of course, this is the Ferrum Forge Crux. So why don't we just go ahead and start out with, well, the first feature that actually prompted me to pull the trigger and purchase this is that beautiful blade shape. Look at that, just a really nice classic drop point, and it is, as you can see, hollow ground with a really nice satin finish. 3.2 millimeters thick, and that is going to be M390 blade steel. Now the deployment action is very, very good. Very quick, very snappy, and that of course is going to be for a few reasons. The ball bearing pivot that this blade is riding on, and this extremely strong detent. So yeah, you are not going to be able to shake this thing loose. Now, you can use the flipper as either like with the push button method or the light switch. Both work fine. Now the Practic is not, it does not drop shut. You see, I can kind of, if you shake and bake for a little bit, I mean, it eventually will. You can get it to drop shut, but I believe that the blade is just really too light, and the design of the knife, so this is really never going to close like a guillotine. So you just have to accept that. I mean, and those of you that like to do that thumbnail closure, I mean, you can kind of do that, but again, it's going to require quite a bit of shaking. Once the blade is deployed, you can see, what do you think? It's locking up at about, very early, about 15%. Let's go ahead and check out the center. And oh yes, WE Knife did a fantastic job. That's just about dead on. Excellent. The G10 scales here are very, very comfortable, and they do provide some, yeah, fairly decent traction, and there are no sharp edges anywhere on this handle. Everything is really nice and rounded as it should be, and you can see with my medium-sized hand I can fit all 4 of my fingers on there, no problem. The liner lock is also well done, very, very easy to get at, no problems there. There are actually 4 areas of jimping on this knife, okay? So one on the spine of the blade, and I believe, yes, on the flipper tab, And then if you want to consider that here on the back spacer, jimping, I mean, you could call it that, I guess. And the last place would be right there on the liner lock itself. So more than enough jimping, and especially the stuff on the spine of the blade is very, very aggressive, but it works really well. The milled titanium pocket clip, yes, that's right, I said milled titanium. It is now just going to be tip up only for righties and for lefties. Thank you, WE. 1.16 inches is going to be the closed width, and the thickness of the handle, it is over a ½ inch, but not by much. It's just going to be 0.52. So for the most part, this will be, you know, fairly unnoticeable in the pocket. There are only 2 body screws on here. Always love that, and especially when one of those doubles as the screw for the pocket clip. I'm going to go ahead and I want to grab the scale, and I want to show you guys how much this is going to weigh you down. Before we go ahead and check the weight, I just wanted to show you guys, if you can see there on the inside on the liners, yes, they are in fact skeletonized, so that is nice to see. See how that affects the weight? Wow, 3.1 ounces. Very good. That's going to be roughly the equivalent of 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like 4 AA batteries, or a little bit lighter than the paramilitary 2. And just like every knife that I review, we do have to get into some of the deal breakers, but you know what? There's actually not that many. But before we do, I want to quickly remind you to just go ahead and click on that subscribe button if you're looking for knife reviews that get right to the point. Now, the first potential deal breaker is going to be regarding the colors here, specifically the blue, because there is quite a bit of it going on here. However, you see that the liners are blue, the clip and the pivot, and of course all the other body screws are blue. However, all 3 are different shades of blue for some reason. So on the pivot, it's more of like a, I don't know, kind of like a closer to a purplish sort of color. And then if you look at the liners here, you can see those are a different shade of blue from the pivot, and the pocket clip is also a different, this is more of like a pale kind of blue. Not a huge deal for me, at least, but I know for some of you that can be, so I just wanted to make sure that I pointed that out. And as long as we are talking about the blue liners, I am really just, I'm not sold on them. I'm not sure if I like them yet. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. But actually, that would be a good question for you guys. Now, what do you guys like these full, like, blue anodized liners? Let me know down in the comment section down below. And the third potential deal breaker being this forward choil. Now, as you guys know, that in between choil size just kind of drives me nuts, and that is exactly what's going on here. I mean, this is a little bit closer to a full finger choil than some of the knives in the past that I've reviewed, but it needs to be bigger. It really does. And you can see, so there is that potential to cut your finger if you try to use it like this. I can use like my fingertip on there and it's fine, but I really just wish either, you know, make the choil a little bit bigger or make it smaller and just have it be a small sharpening choil. Heck, they probably could have even taken off just a little bit from this side of the flipper to enlarge it, then that would not take anything away from the length of the sharpened edge. And the last potential deal breaker is another minor gripe, and it's going to be regarding the flipper tab. And now I do see this quite a bit, where the sides, all of the corners here on the tab are kind of on the sharp side. Yeah, they are not at all rounded. So again, not a huge deal, but it's not like it's going to cut your finger, but they are sharp. So I guess now, where does that kind of leave us here with the WE Practic? And well, for $146, which is the price that I had paid on Blade HQ, $146 for M390 blade steel, that is not bad at all. That's actually pretty darn good when you think about it. You're getting just a fantastic super steel ball bearing pivot, just a really nice, simple looking design. And when I say simple, I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just very simplistic, and I really do like that about this knife. However, when I took this out of the package, when it arrived and I opened it up, to be honest with you, it did not really wow me. And that's because I have many knives that really look similar to this. And not that that's, WE's fault. I mean, that's my own. But I'm just trying to explain to you why I was not just like, oh my gosh, this thing is fantastic. I mean, it is a great knife, but when you look at Ferrum Forge Crux, I mean, they are really, in dimensions, they are very close, which would make sense since WE Knives is the one that actually manufactured this Ferrum Forge design. Same goes for the Gent. And you know what? Heck, we could even throw another knife in there. Little bit different of a shape, but still some of the same kind of elements going on here on the Kaiser Vanguard Dukes. I guess I was just really hoping that let's get this out of here. I was just really hoping that the Practic would kind of set itself apart from some of those other knives with more than just a different blade steel. And I am just slightly disappointed in the closing action. I honestly was hoping it would be a little bit better. Still a great knife, but I don't know, just didn't wow me. It's just a rather kind of conservative knife design, and you know what, I'm okay with that, and I don't regret purchasing this, not even for a second, because it is a very solid knife at a really good price for M390. And don't forget now to go ahead in the comment section down below, just let me know how you guys feel about knives with the blue liners.